Joining us right now, Congressman Robert Hurt, 5th District, Virginia. Congressman, good to have you with us.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me on your program.
So let's get right to the heart of the matter. Let's start with your voting in favor of the Blocking Regulatory Interference from Closing Act, the BRIC Act. I mean, you guys are trying everything to stop Obama's EPA overreach. Is any of it working?
Well, it's very difficult to change the law as it relates to a lot of these environmental regulations that come out of the EPA because he is the president, he controls the agency. We have oversight of these agencies, but at the end of the day, he's the boss, and what he has demonstrated again and again is that he doesn't care what we think, and he's not going to listen to what we think. He's going to continue on this path, and I think when I think about the greatest threats to the future of our country, there are many, but the one that I think that is the most significant really is the precedent that this president has set as it relates to the separation of powers and the relationship between the executive branch, Article 2, and the Article 1 branch, which is Congress. Congress should make the laws, and he should execute them faithfully. He's demonstrated that he can't do that. He won't do that. And we look at what happens with the EPA, and we can see clearly that legislation like we have passed and voted on last week relating to brick plants and the onerous and unbelievable regulations that are placed on them make it impossible for them to stay in business. And at a time when we need more jobs, not fewer, we need more common sense, not less. And unfortunately, it's an important piece of legislation. I hope the Senate will take it up. I don't think the president will ultimately sign it. But at the end of the day, this is another opportunity for the House of Representatives, especially as we run into this presidential election, to set the tone and begin to build an agenda, so that if we have, a Republican president next time around, we'll have plenty to work with, plenty of things that we can get done very quickly, and hopefully, get this country pointed in the right direction. Because for the last 8 years, we've just watched as government has grown and the private sector has flagged, and it's hurting people.
Absolutely. Congressman, I've only got a couple more minutes because I know you're on a short time frame today. All this hand-wringing over Donald Trump. Look, I believe he's going to be the nominee. It's a little early, but I believe he is going to be the nominee. We had Mitt Romney coming out on Thursday dissing him. We had your colleague Scott Ridgell saying that he would vote for a third-party candidate, which I was shocked with that. What's the deal? I mean, if the Republicans decide to nominate Trump, if the grassroots decide that's the way to go, why do you abandon your candidate?
I don't think we can. I mean, I think that if he is the nominee, of course we have to. Of course, everybody needs to rally around him and support him and help him be the best candidate he can be. Because we cannot afford to have another 4, possibly 8 years of what we have had this last 8 years with Obama. I mean, we just can't. Our country cannot withstand it. The real damage that's been done, that has to be undone. Whether it be the EPA regulations and an EPA agency that has just gone far and beyond anything that anyone ever imagined when the Clean Water Act was passed or the Clean Air Act was passed. Something that affects people and farmers all across the 5th District every single day. We can't have another 8 years of that. And if Donald Trump is our nominee, then we need to rally around him and support him. And you know what? There are a lot of people out there, and you may be one of them, John, who says, maybe I don't agree with him on everything. Maybe he's got views that I don't subscribe to exactly. But the bottom line is it can't get any worse, with what we've seen in Washington, and to bring a fresh perspective, a business-oriented perspective, somebody who has not been a part of the sort of the inside the Beltway cycle, is something that this country needs, and that could be. So if he's the nominee, of course we have to. I believe you have to support him, and we have to hope and pray that in November he wins.
Right. Well, look, I think he is going to be the nominee, and I think he has an opportunity to beat Clinton, but I'm just very troubled by these people going around saying they're not going to back the nominee.
Another thing I'll just say, John, is that if Donald Trump loses one way or the other, either in the nomination process or in a general election, if he loses, the dissatisfaction of the American that the American people feel right now, it's not going to go away.
Right.
And that is going to it's going to continue to fester until we have folks in Washington who are going to be responsive to what the American people want. And I think we see that frustration on both sides of the aisle. I mean, Bernie Sanders animates in many ways the same feeling, but on the other side. And I think people are they believe Washington's gotten too far away from everything that it's supposed to be serving. And I think that, again, whether Trump wins or loses, or if he loses, no matter how, that animus is going to still be there.
You're right. It's not going away. People are very, very frustrated with Republican leadership, the system, even, as you say, on the Democratic side, people just not happy with the status quo and the quote-unquote establishment. So you hit the nail on the head, Congressman. It's not going away. Whether Trump goes away is immaterial. The feeling, the sense of frustration that many Republicans have is still going to be there. It's going to manifest itself in some other manner. We're out of time. I want to thank Congressman Robert Hurt for being with us. 5th District Republican. Go to hurt.house.gov. Always an honor to have you on, sir. Thank you.